I can't believe that summer is almost over. Hi, I'm Alex and I'm growing tropical plants in New York. So today I wanted to show you what worked and what didn't work this season. Let's take a tour. So you step outside into my backyard and this is the first thing you see, a lot of container plants. This is all going inside. So like, follow, subscribe, whatever it takes for you to see this video again if you're interested in how I store all of these plants in my plain old normal house. I've done a lot of different videos on what plants I have. Let me show you today what surprised me, good and bad. This was a good surprise, my lemon balm eucalyptus. I kept this in my garage during the winter and it got pretty cold in my garage. I lost some banana plants because it was near freezing for majority of the winter inside there. And this died all the way to the ground, but it has come back beautifully. I think it's the most fragrant eucalyptus I have ever experienced in my life. It's got these rough leaves that smell exactly like insect repellent. It's really cool. Also, another thing that worked out pretty well this year was my bird of paradise. I have lots and lots of flower spades. That's these guys. So stay tuned because I will have lots of flowers inside the house again this year from the orange bird of paradise. My Medinilla, myriantha, that's this plant over here. It's known as a Malaysian orchid. It's so cool because you get berries after you get the flowers, and the flowers started in May. So I had flowers like this, then they became berries like this, and now like this, and it's been non-stop since May. It takes a long time for these berries to fall off, so you end up with a plant that looks so colorful for months and months and months. It was May, so now we're talking like almost 6 months of color from this one plant. It's really amazing, and this is something that worked out well this year, but last year I didn't get any flowers at all for some reason, so I thought it was on its way out. I thought it was going to die. It really did very well, because it's bloomed every year for me ever since I got it in 2007. So I was worried, but now it's looking amazing, so I'm not worried anymore. Something that did not work out for me this year was my Bismark Palm. I did leave it out in many 30-degree days, and I don't think it was very happy with me. It can handle cold, but this is just an example of palms being big fat fakers because it looked really, really good for a while, and then it had a new frond that collapsed. That was this guy over here. And this one has been very slow to open. I do think it's alive, but it is not well, and we'll see what happens. I'm really, really excited because this is the first year that I am growing giant African sage. That's this plant. I was told from a friend that it's really, really hard to grow. It needs a ton of water, a ton of heat, a ton of light, but also a ton of shade by the roots. I tried to give it all those requirements, and I was rewarded with a bloom. We'll see what happens. I've never taken care of this inside during the winter. But this ficus I left inside my basement all winter long. It lost every single leaf, and look at how big that umbrella tree is. The leaves are amazing. So that was a big success story. Like I said, I actually lost almost all of my tropical banana plants. So now this year, I'm not growing many tropical banana plants. I have my Musa Siam Ruby. This one is tropical. It's going to go straight into the house. Notice that there's actually some leaves dying off already. It does not like cooler weather, but it'll be fine. This is a new banana plant to this year. It's my Musa Veluntina. It is a pink banana plant. It makes pink bananas. Really excited about it, but it is a more cold-tolerant banana, and that's kind of the change that I've made this year. I've purchased more cold-tolerant banana varieties. This did so well. Instead of growing veggies in this bed, decided to grow dahlias. They are technically edible, so I said, why not? And they're huge. They're over 6 feet tall. They did so well, and I'm really, really happy with how this turned out. Because I've grown veggies in here in the past, I ended up getting some vegetables anyway. The tomatoes reseeded themselves, and I've got tons of tomatillos, which I think I maybe planted at the start of the year, but I kind of lost track. The bananas have been doing fantastic, though. The other banana that's not cold tolerant is the Musa AA or Musa Florida. I think it's a Musa Florida. It's a variegated banana plant. Anyway, it's looking fantastic. Here's a plant that I experimented with this year. It's a Tibouchina. I kept it in the garage for the first time this winter. Usually I keep this inside the house and it loses most of its leaves in the house. In the garage, it lost all its leaves, but it came back beautifully. Look at all of the flowers. I mean, this plant is way, way, way too tall to bring into the house now. So this was a huge huge success story. Tibouchina, not a plant you see very often up here, but one that just blooms and blooms and blooms, and it's got those fuzzy leaves, so it's really cool. It's growing in a container, by the way. It's just hidden underneath all the other tropical foliage. Woo! Oh my gosh, it's like a Disney movie. Did you see those squirrels? Or chipmunks? They were actually chipmunks. There were like 2 of them. Look at this dahlia. If you like peonies, you gotta try looking into dahlias. This is actually facing the wrong direction. This is the back of the flower, just the way that it's shaped. And look, a bee. I like this time of the year the bees are just so docile. They're too busy drinking and eating. Hi, little fishies. Really like the way that this turned out. This is the first time I'm ever growing a Fishtail Palm in New York, so we'll see how that does inside the house over the winter, but I'm pretty optimistic about it. I'm growing some Abutilons, flowering maples. This is a double variety. I don't know if I'm going to save it, just because I'm not super impressed by the flowers, but it was a fun experiment, so maybe that's something that I didn't enjoy as much this year. The flowering maples, just, they're cute, but I don't know, I could do better. I think that I can find plants that I just enjoy a little bit more, mostly because this variety just hasn't fully opened up. Like, the flowers are like half opened. It was a good year for my plumerias. The flowers weren't as full as they have been in past years, but speaking of the banana plants, I was talking about that a minute ago. This is another hardy one. It's called Mekong Giant. It's basically a fancy Musa banana. It's from Asia, just like the Musa bananas. They're native to Asia. Kind of a similar look, similar cold tolerance. Grows so fast, it's actually scary how fast this plant grew. It was so tiny when I bought it, and it's much faster growing than Musa and it's more shade tolerant. And it also produces runners, like bamboo, kind of, where you get like babies that pop up a lot farther away from the mama plant. Unlike bamboo, though, it doesn't have, you know, any wood. So it's, I guess bamboo technically doesn't either, but it's really easy to get rid of this plant if it's a problem. This is the first year I've put a tropical passion vine in the ground. I have hardy ones like Maypop, and well, I'm really impressed. This tropical one's doing so well. I'll show some pictures of it since it's not in bloom today. The blooms only last 1 day, so some days I get like 3 or 4 blooms, like right next to each other, and then there are days like this where the whole plant doesn't have any. Here's my little cute tiny hibiscus. I just keep it around even though it doesn't really look very impressive because I just think it's cute. I finally found a Heliconia. It's been a while since I found these plants, so I'm growing that this year right by the pond, and they're really a pain to keep alive during the winter, so I'm excited to try to keep it alive inside some grow lights. That'll be an interesting experiment. This variegated cordyline, you know those spike plants that you grow when you want like a little grassy plant for your annuals? Well, that's Cordyline australis, and this is the variegated version of that. It comes in reddish colors also. I almost lost it. It was out in the snow, totally collapsed. Like, the central growing stem was gone, so it looked. And then the whole thing miraculously popped back. It spent the whole winter in the garage, did not go inside the house, and it looks amazing. So, really loving the way that looks. And then I have some elephant ears that I thought died in the garage that just popped up all over the place. This was 1 elephant ear, and now it's 3 elephant ears. So I have some more at my parents' house from that same clump. So that was fun. I got this cute little container, so I'm excited to put that in the house. Right now I have a fuchsia growing there, and that's kind of doing some cool stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that worked out well. But dahlias, as amazing as they are to look at, have flopped over a lot. I feel like I need to keep on tying them up. And right now they're looking okay, but they've been floppy for a little while now. And my beautiful cannas. I love these canna plants, but they are flop city. I put this fencing in over here to try and keep them from flopping over, but they just flop. There's nothing I could do about it this time of the year. They're so top heavy that they just can't support themselves. But that's all right because they're pretty. And it's almost the end of the year. So, just a reminder that dahlias, they start blooming whenever they feel like it. The earlier you get those bulbs going, the faster you get blooms, and they will just keep on blooming. They're going to keep on gracing you with blooms. Also, a reminder that you might as well just pick those tomatoes before they turn red. I know they're tastier when they're red on the vine, but you know who else knows that? The bugs. The bugs know that. So, it's up to you. Do you want the bugs to enjoy your tomatoes, or do you want to enjoy your tomato? This wasn't even planned. I just assumed. I just knew that this was too ripe for me to enjoy. It had to go with the bugs. You know what we do? We chuck it. And then hopefully another tomato plant grows in my bushes next year. Also, I grew so many cleomes inside my house. These are these little guys. I need to water these plants. They are telling me that they're wilted from the heat today. This is how big the cleomes got that I started inside the house. Do not start cleome seeds inside the house. You just got to directly sow them in the ground because they just didn't grow. This ginger did fantastic. I started that inside the house a few weeks before it went out. But the cleome that did well are the ones that popped up right by themselves. They got in plants inside the house to start. You just sprinkle the seeds, you see what takes, and then you get good cleome. Or just buy it from the store. That's what I might do next year. So that was another mistake, was definitely buying that cleome and putting it inside the house. That was not worth my time at all. Also had a really weird year with mandevilla. Usually mandevilla are like climbing on the roof at this time of the year, but I bought a smaller plant and it was kind of like not great, the roots, and I paid the price. Like, you can tell that it just didn't get quite to the margins that I expected. This verbena is so cool, by the way. It is a zone 7 plant, so I'm gonna see if I can keep it alive during the winter. I might put it in the garage just because even if it's a zone 7 plant, if it's in a container, it might not survive. But I saw them in Paris, and I was like, oh wow, it does look kind of European, and it's a really cool plant. I'm enjoyed it a lot. The bees have enjoyed it so much. So that was a thumbs up purchase, but the mandevilla, I could have done better. So, messed up that one. So, that's just a few things, what worked, what didn't work. I hope that you enjoyed the tour, and tell me what's working and not working in your garden. Oh, wait till you see what I'm doing in my house before I go. So this is one of the spots that's going to be covered in plants really soon. Of course, I have my skylight, and that gives it some light, but then I also dangle some grow lights. But I am so tired of looking at these plants inside the house constantly that I am going to convert my office into a grow laboratory. I'm going to have tons of grow lights dangling from the ceiling, and I'm going to fit a lot more plants than usual in here, and I'm hoping that I just won't be able... I'll just see the plants I want to see in the house, and then I'm going to be able to actually walk around the house, because it's not just the kitchen, it's the living room, it's the entry room, like everything's got plants in it during the winter time. I put plants all along here, and the table's not even here, it's just plants. And I want to reclaim a little bit of my house because they're in here for 5 months. So that's a long time to be living with plants. Anyway, I am still holding this tomato. I'm going to put it down. I'm going to let you go. Have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Bye.